You are in a film that comes out, I believe it's August 4th, Spare Change?
August 4th,
Okay,
yep.
great.
2015 feature film comedy Spare Change. I have a small role in it, but I also produced it, which was my first feature film. I've produced digital series and have been in pre-production on a couple TV show pitches for larger studios, but never a feature before. So we shot actually the beginning of 2014, independent feature, and we had 4 guys doing the job of 100 really, and it was an awesome experience, and it's finally come around, and here we are, August 4th on iTunes, August 4th, 2015, video on demand, digital download, iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon. Everyone's really excited. We actually just released the trailer today, worldwide internet.
Oh, okay.
So it's getting a lot of views, a lot of traction. Everyone's tweeting and gramming. That's lingo for Instagram. Booking, Facebook as well. So it's really exciting. But being on the back end of it, the producer side of it, it's been an awesome experience from dealing, especially with the post-production. Like during the physical production, that I've always had a grasp on. I've been in those situations, but dealing in the post-production world, and especially the post-production world when it comes to the distribution and getting the rights and coming up with the best business plan for your cast and your crew and for future work, there's a balance. There's that, a lot of films aren't being released in theaters anymore because they can get less views on video on demand, but in the long run it makes more money for everybody that's involved. So it's kind of that toss up between what you're going for. And it's really interesting, and it was really exciting. There's a lot of content out there, and people are always willing to watch something or see what something's about. There's always a need for, it's the YouTube generation that we live in now. So there's always something people want to watch. And we're really hoping this move to feature film comedy, female-centered. Let me give a little plot.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Oh, okay. Story's about this girl, mid-20s, named Jane, and a couple years after college, she's your typical mid-20s girl. Sorry not to say there's anything wrong with that, but she doesn't take anything too serious in life. She ends up getting fired from her job, and she finds out her old boyfriend, who was away at the Peace Corps, is now back in town after breaking up with her a few years back. So her life's just in turmoil and everything's the worst. And she doesn't really know what's going on in her life. She can't get a new job. She's down on her luck, and then unfortunately, someone mistakes her for being homeless. So that's what she decides her new job is going to be. And it's this whole moral dilemma. She knows everything she's doing is wrong. She befriends a girl around her age that just so happens to be actually homeless. So it starts messing with her head, and her boyfriend comes back into town, who is now working as a Peace Corps. Now he's working for a nonprofit that specifically helps the homeless. So it's just this whole back and forth, and throwing her best friend Lily, who's helping her through it all. They're coming up with it and using it as a business plan to make money, and they're not thinking of it on the personal level of like, she's getting $10 on the street, but it could be taken away from an actual homeless person getting $10 on the street. So it's that fun little balance of playing the realism of it, but living in a movie world at the same time. And it's just a fun, independent comedy. It's great. We've got some great people involved in it from all over the comedy world. Pulled in favors. We have, Jim O'Hare, Allison Becker, both on Parks and Rec, Ross Marquand, Walking Dead, Jordan Black, Community, huge improv comedian, one of my favorites out here, is the best. Elise Levesque, who also, sorry about that when I said your name, Elise, but I just spit. Elise Levesque, who actually won Best Supporting Actress at the Hollywood Real Independent Film Festival this year, plays our supporting Lily. And then Lissa Loria plays Jane Doran, who was phenomenal in her first big feature acting role. She's actually in the music world. And then the male lead was played by Kurt Mega, who was one of the Warblers on Glee. And then Jordy Lucas as well. She's just actually came over. This was her first role in America because she was on soap opera in Australia for many years as a teenager. She grew up over there, a show called Neighbors, so this was her first American role. And then Neil Grayson, who's been on a bunch of different shows on Sci-Fi Channel. Krista Allen's in it. Madeline Sweeten, who would play little Allie Barone on Everybody Loves Raymond. I make a guest appearance, don't worry about me. Grant Cotter, an up-and-coming stand-up who's hilarious. And Jackie Long, he's been in a ton of great stuff like The Comebacks, The Real Husbands of Hollywood. Real-life Hollywood husbands, however you want to put that. We just had some awesome people that were just willing to come in and do this movie with us. And that was just the cast. The crew was phenomenal. And everyone's kept in touch, and everyone's real excited for the 4th because it's been so long. It's like one of those things that it's, oh yeah, we put all this work into this thing a couple years ago. Now it finally gets to for other people to see it.
Well, you screened the film, was it February 14th?
It's February 14th at the Hollywood Reel Independent Film Festival at the Reel Cinemas down at LA Live. So it was very, very exciting. We sold out. Like I said, we won one award, and we were up for Best Picture as well. We did not come away with that, but to be part of that festival, which was fantastic, because they had some, you know, A-list actors and actresses, and there's some of these films like Gary Cole, Joe Mantegna. They won a couple of awards for their films, and to be a part of that, you know, meet other filmmakers kind of going through what we went through, it was really, really cool. And to have people say, oh, a complete stranger, not a family or a friend for the first time, something that no one had any prior knowledge about, to be like, that was good. It's like, oh yeah, thanks.
So since you met people that were going through what you all were going through, did you talk to them about getting a distribution deal once, you know, like the big night's over, great, now what happens after?
Yeah, because it's a little bit different, because, you know, everyone knows about Sundance, and, you know, there's these big film festivals. We just went to this one for our worldwide premiere, and we understood our niche. You know, we weren't going to try to do 15 festivals and try to like get someone to possibly purchase. The executive producer, Chris Hughes, who handles the business aspect of this, excuse me, he's very, very knowledgeable and was up on like the digital media before anyone. He works kind of in the .com world, if that's still a term. So he had a business plan for this before. It was like, we're going to hit one festival, and then we're going to get distribution, because there's no point in waiting. We understood what the product we had and where it could benefit, and where we could flourish with it, and where everyone that was involved with it could benefit more from it. Because, you know, you hear these great stories like, oh, this movie was picked up and then it's released 3 years later because this big production company, and that's awesome. It doesn't happen to every film at every independent film festival. So we just played the cards we were dealt and went about it the right way. That's why we're really pumped about the 4th.
So with Chris and your other team, you decided that just one festival, and then straight to VOD after that. That was just sort of
that was our goal, you know. And there's different routes you can take in the distribution world. We talked with a lot of distributors, you know, to put it in DVDs, to do a European release before an American release. There's endless different doorways to open up. But like I said, Chris, who was the brains behind the business, was the brains behind the business side. He had a very specific plan and wanted to do it this way. I mean, this is film one of our little production company. The two directors, Jonathan Talbert and Arturo Guzman, come from the TV world. They both produced on Orange is the New Black and Weeds, United States Terra, all these great shows. So just learning from them, and that's kind of how because TV films quicker than film does. So that's kind of how we ran everything, to stay in budget and to get things done quick but also efficient. We ran it like a TV show, you know, shooting up to 10, 11 pages a day sometimes on the weekends and going late. And learning from those guys was great, and using their connections as well. We've had a couple Emmy winners behind us. Shannon Mitchell helped, who won an Emmy for Orange is the New Black, did our editing. John Kincaid, who did our sound supervision, he works on all Game of Thrones, New Girl, Orange, like name drop all over the place here, but I learned more from sitting in with these people for 8 hours than I would have in a classroom for over 6 months. It was really great.